Morris! Wake your mans up! Wake him up! I think she might be my favorite supporting character. Bro, look at my face, dog. I'm sweating so hard right now. He dribbles up the court. It's from way downtown. Charged up. Bang!
Nigga fucking cry.
Monkey D. Goofy. D. Goofy. You're slobbering this bad guy.
Why would they do that, bro?
Bro, because this kid, you right. He don't. Yeah! No! Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy T-Rav. I'm back with another video. Right now, we have the Shang-Chi review. Man, this was one of the better movies that Marvel's come out with in a while. Honestly, to be honest, Infinity War and Endgame were the last two that was this high level to me. Now, I still haven't seen Eternals yet. I know, I'm late, but I had to go ahead and bang this one out right quick. So I just finished watching it. And man, like, honestly, like I said before, I had no idea about the character at all whatsoever in Shang-Chi. But honestly, I'm rocking with this dude heavy. Like, honestly. And to be real, I had no idea he was going to be this legit. So if we take it back through the movie, right, it really starts off with his father going through, breaking down who his father was and is, and how he was, one of his titles is the most dangerous man in the world, and with good reason. He runs the 10 Rings organization, which was used by the Mandarin, we find out in Iron Man 3, to basically strike fear into the world and you know, stuff like that through terrorist actions. We didn't realize that it was the 10 Rings organization. That's his group. You know what I'm saying? He's been around for 1,000 years due to the power of these rings, right? Because they grant you the power of eternal life along with all types of other perks. You know what I'm saying? So it goes through him, you know, basically running the world. And once he reached the end and realized there was nothing else to conquer, he tries to go off on another conquest, which is to go take over this land of Tylo, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Basically, Shangri-La. And it's where Shang-Chi's mother's from. Now, she handles him relatively easily, but we can already tell from jump that we know what's going to go down. And then later on, she dies because while Shang-Chi's father is away, some gangsters, I guess, come back and want to exact their revenge on somebody and get their payback because Shang-Chi's father has tried to leave his old life behind and see, this is where we get into some freaking problems, okay? Because I understand the idealism behind trying to leave your old life behind, be a new man, be legit, you know what I'm saying? Nice, solid family man. So very wholesome. I get it. But how the hell did you not think that someone was going to come back and try and come after your family? And then, bro, you've been living 1,000 years. You accumulated all this wealth. You still, at your disposal, have the most powerful organization ever. The way they're hyping it up, right? But we have no safeguards in place to protect your family when you're not around. Like, come on, bro. And then these regular gangsters come up and then they end up killing your wife. And you had the nerve to blame your son, who is, what, 8 years old at the time? Like, what? Now, granted, if his son would have really been on it, like probably how he wanted, even at 8 years old or whenever his mother was killed, not that she passed, that she was killed, if he would have been on it like his father probably wanted him to be, then he probably could have protected his mother. But his mother didn't have her powers anymore. And that is one thing I was somewhat confused about. I will say that was one of the few things I noticed throughout the movie. Like, we see how devastating her daughter is, like Shang-Chi's sister, Xialing, and then we see how devastating he is without the rings. Like, why? Like, now, if it was just the 6 niggas that rolled up at first, yeah, we could see how she would handle. She still ended up taking all of them out, but I just don't. I feel like she still should have been able to deal with it unless they actually pulled out some weapons so that she wasn't capable of dealing with it. So, but anyway, that's what's up. After that point, his father reassumes what he was before. He goes back on demon time. He is going after all the people who had any involvement in what happened, and he takes his son along with him to go see it. And this was a really cool way to show Shang-Chi's character and how far he's actually come, because you see him from the start of the movie. He's just this goofy ass dude who is honestly a scrub, doesn't seem to have any sense of responsibility, all that stuff. But what you really find out is that he's just basically been running away. After his mother died, he was basically trained to be a super soldier and be able to kill a man any way that you could think of. That's how hard they was going. And he honestly would have been capable of it. And at 14 years old, he looked like he was legit and real deal. And at that age, at the age of 15, I think it was, he was sent on a mission to go and deal with the person that killed his mother. And that was the point at which he broke ties altogether and went and abandoned his family and stuff like that, which was, I'm not gonna lie to you, that hurt me a little bit. Now, I'll say I like how they put in these flashbacks, because honestly, it didn't feel like I got taken out at all. It just provided just enough context, and we didn't linger on it too long. So that's pretty good. Pretty good, Disney. I'm not gonna lie. But his sister was clearly never, and you'll find that in Eastern cultures forgive me if I'm speaking out of straight ignorance. From what I've seen, it seems like they don't place high importance on like what females are able to do and what they're capable of doing. And so she was never obviously viewed as going to be the successor to her father, stuff like that. So she wasn't ever treated like Shang-Chi before he actually left. So he was the one getting put through all this rigorous training, but she still ended up putting herself through training just because she watched everyone else and was like, she wanted to be legit also. But in her moment of need, when she needed him to stay, when she was clearly struggling, just like you were, Shane, you left. And I know he was young. I know he was only 15, and he probably felt like there was no way out. And he's supposed to be this great successor to his father, but at the end of the day, you abandoned your little sister. And that hurts. I'm not gonna lie to you, that really hurts. So I understand why she was upset at first when it came to them reuniting, and it turns out that she runs her own underground fighting ring, and Wong's there, and the freaking Deep Sea King from One Punch Man's there. I don't know where they got that from, but anyway. But we zoom past that. The 10 rings are coming after him and his sister for the pendants, and we realize what the pendants are for is to make a map, to get back to his mother's homeland in order to, in his mind, go and save his mother. Now, for someone who has lived, sorry, Sunday, I'm waiting for football. But for someone who has lived for 1,000 years, done all this stuff, should be so knowledgeable, you really believed that those people were holding her hostage in her homeland. Oh, you gonna feel real fucking dumb, ain't you, when this mother ain't your wife, huh? You fucking idiot. I'm not sure what's going on over there, okay? But you really believe that these people from her homeland and her actual family was holding her hostage behind this, in this place? Like, it honestly just, he was lost in grief. And like, it makes sense because no one had ever obviously gotten through to him like that. He lived so long, and he lost his sense of reason. He honestly just lost his sense of reason. Because in a way, a son gets it. In other ways, he doesn't get it because, bro, you can't run away and think that your problems are just going to be fine and fixed and all that. And in different ways, people was telling him that. His father told him when he first found him, he was like, when he tried to low-key, like, steal his spotlight when he was, like, critiquing what he was about to go and do, he knocked the shit out of his son. He was like, when you going to stop pretending? Like, and we don't find out till later when it had been said to his best friend that he didn't actually go through with it when he was sent on that mission. He really did. And honestly, thank you. Thank you, Disney. Thank you. Because I didn't think he was going to do it. But you don't have to show it. But just to know that he didn't have some Naruto moment, he didn't have some anime moment where the power of friendship and his heart just saved his soul. No. Innocence, he is not a good person either. He's not who he has said that he is. But the reason why he is a good person is because he actually feels bad about that. And he actually understands the repercussions of what he did. But, oh, shout out to one of the best supporting characters in all of Marvel, bar none. His friend, Katie, stole the show, bro. I'm sorry. Marvel humor hits about 50-50, right? But this movie, it was damn near hitting like almost the whole time, dude. She was legit funny. And it's just like, she was us. She was us in the movie. And all this crazy stuff's going on. But that's a real homie. That's a real homie. And I respect it. You know, that little struggle of not growing up and, you know, doing a job that they enjoy and not actually doing a job that would make them somewhat successful. You know, I kind of relate to that. But anyway, this movie was, it honestly hit on pretty much all cylinders. There was a couple moments where the CGI, you could see it was a little questionable, but for the most part, they blew the budget on it because the CGI was pretty incredible, especially when they started getting to the Great Protector stuff and the mythical creatures once they actually went to this place. It was wild. Shout out to Morris. Shout out to my nigga Morris and Ben Kingston, because that was so ridiculous when we go. Oh my God. We're about to have another quest after we've escaped from the father who has taken us captive and all that. It's Shang-Chi, his sister, and his best friend, and we find Ben Kingsley and Morris, who end up breaking down the actual way to get to, golly, I gotta remember his name. Talo. Wow, so difficult. Okay. So, Morris is a mythical creature from this place, I guess, who was taken by his father back to our regular dimension. And he's going to be the one to lead us on the way. And obviously he needs an interpreter. This is a little monstrosity. But that's really besides the point. It just honestly gives us just a touch of time to get over to Talo and get trained up by Auntie and some of the people there. So, you know, Katie becomes an archer. You know, his sister starts to take the forefront even more so. It's like, you don't have to sit and watch from the sides. Go do your thing. And then Shang-Chi is over here trying to learn his mother's style from his auntie. It was obviously an elemental bender. I don't know how their martial arts of the gods works, and don't just think that has absolutely no significance, because they really opened the show, to open the movie with that. They were talking about how the rings, they say they were found in a crater, or there was another origin story of thousands on thousands of years ago. And then there was, when we get over to talking about Ta Lo, they start talking about, there was a martial arts handed down from the gods. Like, bro, we could, like, I see Eternals, but that could be something to do with them. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but I think that might have something to do with them. Now, as I was saying before, the father is literally completely lost in his grief at this point, and he's gonna come burn this bitch to the ground because something is manipulating him, and he thinks he's hearing his dead wife's voice telling him to come and save her, and that they'll all be together if he just comes over to Ta Lo and burns the bitch to the ground. Hey, what could go wrong? So they're going over. They're trying to make that happen. Shang-Chi and his sister and his best friend is all protecting the place along with the people of Ta Lo. And honestly, it was a sick fight. The mythical creatures, the production value was through the roof. And honestly, another thing that I want to really give a shout out to Disney for is that the hand-to-hand fighting scenes and the choreography was so on point throughout the whole movie. And honestly, if you want to be real, it might be some of the best hand-to-hand choreography we've had since Winter Soldier. Like for long continuous scenes of like hand-to-hand combat, I think it's the best we've had since Winter Soldier. Let me know if you agree with that or not. But yeah, really, this movie is about Shang-Chi just coming to not running anymore, accepting all the parts of himself, the good and the bad. And honestly, it was a really cool way they wrapped it all up. And I don't know if I'm reaching here again, but the things that they were fighting against, the dweller, the darkness dweller, the dweller of the dark, those creatures kind of reminded me of how, if you've watched What If, the creatures that Doctor Strange was messing with when he was in that alternate universe, dealing with creatures of different dimensions, it reminded me of those type of creatures. So I thought it was interesting that Wong, Strange's assistant, was present throughout this entire movie, and it seems that they're linked now. Besides the obvious fact that they're all Asian and stuff like that, no, I don't think that Disney is like that, okay? They're not that lazy with it, okay? I think that there's a deeper connection there, and we're going to see if there's more to come with these creatures that are coming from possibly an even other dimension from a different dimension that Ta Lo is in. But yeah, like I said, man, this was a dope movie. If I was to have a couple critiques, my main one probably is that I think that the beef between him, like Shang-Chi and his sister, should have lasted longer. It did feel like we kind of moved past that pretty quick. And obviously she came back to help them when she didn't have to. And that's fine, but I still expected more conversation to follow that so they could have a true reconciliation, because it didn't never seem like they got there. But, we moved past that. That wasn't a big focus, so hey. Maybe it's a nitpick. I don't know. I did feel like we were missing that. And I feel like another way where a reconciliation that we didn't get worked out was between Shang-Chi and his father. Because it was like in a matter of 30 seconds where he's doing this all-out battle with his father and beating him and stuff like that. And then the darkness dweller busts out. He saves his son, and then he gets his soul snatched. And it's like, it's a little moment where he wants to go and save him, but he can't. And then boom, his father's gone. We don't really get a chance to examine that at all. We go hop up on the Great One and his sister's up there providing support and stuff like that. They mention it for a second, but we just keep on going. We keep moving forward. Now they have a nice scene later on where they pay respect, tributes to all the people that fell in the battle, where they talk about it for a second, but it's really nothing major there. But that one was fine. But him and his sister, I feel like there should have been more to get them back to really smoothing out their relationship after how they parted ways the first time. Yeah, I don't really think I have another big criticism for this movie because honestly, I was really rocking with the characters. Like, I really, really was. Like, Katie was so legit, and like I said, I don't rock with the Marvel comedy all the time, but this one just hit. It really did. So I was really rocking with that. I wish we could have gotten a couple better henchmen because I don't really understand why we can't deal with this big ass white dude with the fucking arm sword. You know, like, he's huge and all, but I don't understand why he just continued to come back over and over again. You know, I feel like we could have dealt with him. And then lastly, yeah, like I said before, how his mom didn't still have enough skill to deal with them. It's just like, I don't know, like maybe if we could have saw that final fight of hers play out a little more, maybe there would have been an explanation for that. But there's that there. But all in all, dope movie. Shang-Chi was legit, Marvel. You hit it again. You made me care about another character that I had no idea about. One last critique. I wanted his new armor shit to be a full length gi, son. I don't understand why we couldn't go full length with it, but it's fine. It's fine. You could have gave it to me, Mickey. You could have gave it to me, but I know I'm nitpicking at this point. But anyway, so what did y'all think about Shang-Chi? Let me know who your favorite character was. Who stole the show for you? How did you feel about the father? I thought he was a legit villain. Like, cause like characters do dumb things, and that's fine. He was being manipulated, and we get it. But it didn't make him any less menacing when he was on the ball and he was the main villain for 85% of the movie. He was doing his thing, so you gotta respect it. And everybody else too, they really played their role. So, hey, you made me care about a character I've never heard of before, so you did the job. And for honestly, like this movie was like just straight. I mean, like for 2 hours, 15 minutes, I was in it, dog. I wasn't checking the time at all. I love that. I love it when a movie can do that to me. But anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Comment what you'd like to see in the future. Comment where you think this ties in terms of the whole of the MCU. Did these rings actually come from the Eternals? Was the martial arts style having to do with other things? Were the creatures of the darkness dweller tied to Doctor Strange, or that's why they tied along together with him? I don't know. Y'all later. I'll catch y'all guys on the out. Oh no! Look at the slide, nigga! No! See you there, woo! Mickey! You know what you're doing, baby! Fuck, I want to see Eternal so bad!